Yes, well, we're all together now, and the years have rolled severally behind us, and yet you see none of us have really changed. That's what's so amazing. The durability. Yes, well, we're all together now, and the years have rolled severally behind us, and yet you see none of us have really changed. That's what's so amazing. That's what's so amazing. The durability. You get older, and troubles pile up. Someday, you and me will be coming down an alley together at sundown and looking in the cans to see. You mean we'll end up old bums? Why not, man, if we want to. There's no harm in that way. I kind of agreed with him. He was reaching his Tao of decisions in the simplest, direct way. What's your road, man? Holy Boy Road, Madman Road, Rainbow Road, Guppy Road, any road. It's an anywhere road for anybody, anyhow. Easy chair, watching us with beady eyes. For the first half hour, he refused to say anything. He refused to commit himself. Dean sat on the floor with a music box and listened with tremendous amazement to the little song he played. A fine romance, he said. Little tinkling, whirling doodle bells. Ah, listen. We'll all bend down together and look into the center of the music box till we learn about the secrets. Tinkly doodle bell. Whee! Carlo watched this madness with slitted eyes. Finally, he slapped his knee and said, "What is the meaning of this voyage to New York? What kind of sordid business are you on now? I mean, man, whither goest thou? Whither goest thou, America, in thy shiny car in the night? Whither goest thou?" echoed Dean with his mouth open. We sat and didn't know what to say. There was nothing to talk about. The only thing to do is go. First time we've been alone and in a position to talk for years, said Dean. And he talked all night. He was out of his mind with real belief. And of course now no one can tell us that there is no God. We've passed through all forms. Everything is fine. God exists. We know time. Everything since the Greeks has been predicated wrong. You can't make it with geometry and geometrical systems of thinking. It's all this. He wrapped his finger in his fist. The car hugged the line straight and true. I moaned about life's troubles. Troubles, you see, is the generalization word for what God exists in. The thing is not to get hung up. My head rings, he cried, clasping his head. Since Denver, Sal, I've thought and thought. I used to be in reform school all the time. I was a young punk, asserting myself, stealing cars as psychological expression of my position. All my jail problems are pretty straight now. As far as I know, I shall never be in jail again. The rest is not my fault. We passed a little kid who was throwing stones at the cars. Think of it, said Dean. One day he'll put a stone through a man's windshield and the man will crash and die, all on account of that little kid. You see what I mean? God exists without qualms. As we roll along this way, I am positive, beyond doubt, that everything will be taken care of for us. That even you, as you drive, fearful of the wheel, I hated to drive and drove carefully, the thing will go along of itself, and you won't go off the road, and I can sleep. There was nothing clear about the things he said, but somehow what he meant to say was clear. Everything was being mixed up and all was falling. I didn't know what was happening to me. And then I suddenly realized that it was only the tea that we were smoking. Dean had bought some in New York. It made me think that everything was about to arrive. The moment when you know all and everything is decided forever. The moment when you know all and everything is decided forever. He unrolled himself from the car bone by bone, wearing glasses, felt hat, shabby suit, long, lean, strange. It would take all night to tell about old Bull Lee. Let's just say now, he was a teacher, and it may be said that he had every right to teach because he spent his time learning. And the things he learned were what he considered to be the facts of life, which he learned not only out of necessity, but because he wanted to. He also spent time talking and teaching others. Jane sat at his feet, so did I, so did Dean, so had Carlo Marx. We'd all learned from him. He was a gray, nondescript-looking fellow you wouldn't notice on the street unless you looked closer and saw his mad, bony skull with its strange youthfulness. That night, Mary Lou took tea, goofballs, Benny, liquor, and even asked old Bull for a shot of M, which of course he didn't give her. He did give her a martini. She was so saturated with elements that she came to a standstill. Jane sat reading in the living room. Bull was in the bathroom taking his fix, clutching his old black necktie in his teeth for a tourniquet and jabbing with the needle into his woesome arm with the 1,000 holes. Ed Dunkel was sprawled out with Galatea in the massive master bed that old Bull and Jane never used. Dean was rolling tea. I took a walk alone to the levee. "When I get all these nails out, I'm going to build me a shelf that'll last 1,000 years," said Bull, every bone shuddering with boyish excitement. It was early in the morning. His energy was at its peak. The poor fellow took so much junk, greater proportion of his day in a chair, but in the morning he was magnificent.